The Elegance of Cats by Andrea Salmon. The cats from left to right are Sherlock, Maddie, and Mariah. I got Sherlock first when we had just moved on island, a little bit after. We were waiting on our previous cat and two dogs to come over because of pest control and customs, making sure they weren't bringing any diseases onto the island, that kind of thing. So we still had a month or so until they would actually arrive. And I convinced my mom to get a cat. And so we went on the Humane Society website and found her and immediately fell in love. She's such a cute little thing. She was tiny, just the absolute smallest. And she's a dilute tortie, which means she's very pretty and is also a fur color, not a breed. Like a calico cat is not a breed, it's a color of fur. But we were just drawn to her because she's a pretty cat, big ears and tiny tail. But she grew into her own really well, very proportionate and filled out. Her name also comes from BBC Sherlock, their joke that Sherlock is a girl's name. And so I used that, and it fits really well. She sometimes lives up to her namesake. For instance, she'll jump up onto shelves she knows she's not supposed to be on to get my attention if she's not on the bed, which is only like 5 feet away from the shelves. So instead of coming onto the bed, she'll go to the shelves to get my attention. So while she's smart, she's also a bit silly. And it was around 1.5 years after we got her that we got Maddie and Mariah. My mom had been volunteering at the Humane Society shelter, and on a day she was there volunteering, they had gotten in a couple of kittens that were like just born, not just, but like a couple weeks in, their eyes were still closed and they needed to be bottle fed constantly. And they were fretting over what they were gonna do, and Mom said she would help foster them. We ended up keeping them. So this is Maddie, and she just grew and grew into the big old love bug that she is there. And despite what it looks like, she's not actually fat. The belly skin is just loose, and it makes her appear fat. But she has the loudest purr out of all three cats, and she's also the most sociable. While she might not go up to a stranger, if a stranger comes up to her, she's not gonna run away like Sherlock, and Mariah may or may not run away depending on if she wants attention. Which brings us to Mariah. She's the smallest. She is small and wiry. She also likes to burrow. If you lift up a blanket, she'll go under it. In fact, she even claws her way under the duvet cover just to be under it. She also doesn't like to be held. She would much rather come up to you and demand attention than anything else. But she's still a sweet bean. And she didn't grow too much, but she filled out nicely. Which brings us to the energy and mischievousness levels. While they're separate, all three of them can be just, hanging out in the bedroom. And they'll be nice and relaxed, just hanging out. But if one of them in particular, Sherlock, gets a bit squirrely, energetic, moving around, that kind of thing. Then she'll try to draw in Mariah, and both of them can just kind of shoot up their energy levels if they both get squirrely. They feed off each other. However, Sherlock won't try to draw in Maddie because they are of the same tier on the social ladder. Like, I am the alpha. I have established myself as the at least pack leader. And second in command falls to both Sherlock and Maddie depending on the situation. Because Sherlock is the oldest and has been here longer, she should be the next in line, but Maddie is just physically bigger and a bit tougher than Sherlock, so it's kind of a back and forth. And Mariah, well, she is at the bottom of the food chain. She isn't one to, be messed with. She will defend herself if she needs to, but she'd rather avoid conflict. But it's still funny when she's eating and one of the other cats come along, she will grumble at them. It's really cute. Which brings us to where they are now. They get along well enough, even though they do sometimes have their spats.